here in my garage. We're in the GT3. Today we're going to be installing, or actually reinstalling, a COBB access port tune. A couple things you want to keep in mind is when you're doing something like this with your car, you want to get the battery maintainer connected. On 911s, you can just plug them into the cigarette lighter in the center console. I keep my battery maintained that way, but you just don't want to you don't want to have the power cut off to the car for any reason, or specifically to the ECU for any reason, because there's a chance that you could brick your ECU, which is something we're trying to avoid doing today. That would be great. So yeah, better safe than sorry. So make sure you get one of these. I mean, you can get really cheap ones, but this one is a Genius by Noco. It's like less than $100. I have a couple of these for various purposes. I have one here in the garage and then one upstairs in my condo for charging batteries that have gone dead overnight. Usually takes about 4 to 6, sometimes up to 8 hours to revive a dead battery, or just top off a battery that is kind of weak. Okay, so other than that, you just want to make sure that the radio is off and the OBD2 plug is solidly plugged in. Like, really make sure it's in there until you feel the click, you know, the positive connection there, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to plug this in here. Plug the unit itself in. You can see it boots up. This one's from BBI, which is a local shop down in Orange County. And then we are going to say continue here. And then at this point, I got to turn the car to the on position. So I'm going to turn this off just to prevent the power from draining. I'm going to turn the AC off. Just make sure this thing is using as little power as possible. Again, better safe than sorry. Probably no real reason to do that, but all right, I'm just going to hit install, and it's probably going to want to make a backup of the stock ECU map, which I will do as soon as we get through these confirmation screens. Let's see, this is GT3. Yep, that's me. Anti-theft. Okay, we got a bunch of valet tunes. We're gonna do a stage 191 because I run on pump gas here in California. If you choose to save the stock data, it will take 30 minutes. This is an optional step, as stock data supplied with the access port can be used upon uninstalling. I'm going to continue. And it says 20 amp car battery charger is required. I have one. Continue. And this is going to save the data. So the reason that I uninstalled this COBB ECU tune is because for those of you who don't know, California recently instituted, within the last couple of years, a smog enhanced smog check, where they actually check that the checksum of your ECU has access to the OBD2 port is the same as the manufacturer supplied checksum. So in other words, you can't run a tune. They were really sneaky about it too. They basically didn't tell anyone until they started doing it, and they actually used stored checksums from previous smog checks to send notices to people who they suspected had modified cars. So I know for a fact that this car at some point during a smog check, they scanned it with the COBB tune, which is fine. It passes smog. But they flagged it in their system as modified. So I had to do a little research on the internet and then, make sure that I restored the stock ECU tune before I took it back for another smog check, which, then it passed fine. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that car enthusiasts have to deal with in California, even on a tune that is able to pass smog just fine with the sniffer and all that stuff. These days they would rather just I think it's because they'd rather just save time with the sniffer. They would just rather have you run a stock ECU tune, basically. Now the good thing is, on my Tacoma, the TRD tune is considered a stock tune, so it passes fine, which is why I love the Magnuson plus TRD tune on the Tacoma. Yeah, for those of you with aftermarket tunes on a Tacoma that's supercharged, you want to hit up this guy on Tacoma World called, his nickname is Just DSM. He runs a Tacoma and Toyota or like a general off-road performance shop out in Utah, and he does HP tuners and TRD tune reflashes and reprograms and adjustments and modifications for Toyotas. So he has really quick turnaround, and he ensured me that the TRD tune would pass smog, and indeed it did. So really happy with that. Okay, let's check on progress here. We are at 47%, and this is just the saving of the factory tune, so about a quarter of the way through. This is what the dash looks like. We got some extra lights. TC failure. I don't know what that means, but that always pops up when you're doing this. Yeah, other than that, the car is silent. Battery charger's working fine. As you can see, it's plugged up into the wall. I have a nice EV charger and 110 outlet by my condo parking spot, which is super convenient. I got that installed. Yeah, these condo associations are very, very happy to let you install an EV outlet these days. So there's only like 8 owners in this building, so it's not like one of those crazy HOAs. It's actually run by good people, and the fees aren't very high. So it's actually, I lucked out with this HOA, but yeah, I got like the whole junction box and breaker box and 2 types of outlets. One thing that I discovered was that Powerline Wi-Fi or Powerline Ethernet with the Wi-Fi adapter works down here. So what I actually do, maybe I'll make a video on this, but what I actually do is put the other end of the Powerline Ethernet adapter in my wiring closet where I have all my networking gear, and then I stick the Wi-Fi module down here, and then I can get Wi-Fi down in the garage, because believe it or not, this is all one circuit up to my house, up to my condo. Like this thing, the wiring runs up there and then across and then to the power distribution room, which is over there by that minivan. And basically it's all just one giant circuit, right? Because if you think about it, that's how power flows. So yeah, they communicate just fine. I get like, I don't know, 20, 30 megabit or something, which is great. More than enough to like listen to music and like look at manuals and chat on my phone or laptop while I'm working on cars or, cleaning my car or whatever. So that's super cool. You might want to check that out. Even if you have a house with like a garage that's way out of the way, you might be able to add one of those Powerline Ethernet adapters and get some Wi-Fi that way without running extra Ethernet. As long as you can get like 20, 30 megabit, which is like, way slower than actual Wi-Fi or Ethernet, then I think you're good to go. You know, as long as you're not doing crazy uploads or streaming 4K movies, I think you should be fine. Okay, we are at 85% here, making good progress. I think at some point, if I run out of things to talk about, I'll just fast forward the video. But yeah, the COBB, it's basically just this thing, the special cable that it comes with, and then it comes with this nice carrying case. COBB, it's embossed. It's got an extra USB cable for interfacing with the computer, and then it also has mounting hardware, like you can mount it on your windshield or your dash or whatever. I don't add that because it just attracts attention, but yeah, it comes with all that stuff. And I'm actually thinking about getting one of these for my Turbo S, which is right there. So those are more expensive. The one that I have here for the GT3, I think the tune and the hardware was like $1,200. For the Turbo S, the tune is like $2,000, and then the PDK remap is another $1,500. So I'm not sure the value is there for $3,500. Seems like a lot, and I don't think I would get the PDK tune because I like the PDK just fine how it is. Okay, so now it's uploading the new stuff. It says do not turn off vehicle or unplug the access port. So this is where I don't do anything, and try not to disturb anything, and definitely don't leave the car because you might pull out the cable or whatever. I mean, depending on the car, it could be, you know, easier or more difficult if you end up bricking your ECU, but on a Porsche 911, it's an extremely aggravating process because there's all sorts of coding that the dealer has to do with new ECUs. So it's a giant pain in the ass, and I would rather not have to deal with that. So hence all the precautions, especially that thing. Okay, I'll probably fast forward the video at this point. I don't have much to talk about. Okay, so this thing finally finished, and it's resetting something. We're just waiting for it to do what it's doing. Oh. Okay, we're getting some faults. I think that's normal. I believe this happened last time. Yeah, it's just cycling through a bunch of faults. I'm probably gonna have to clear some codes after this. Okay, so it says, please turn ignition key to the off position. After 10 to 15 seconds, turn ignition to the on position and press OK. All right, so off. Gonna wait about 15 seconds. Luckily, I have a counter on the camera that I'm staring at. You know what? I'm gonna turn this thing off entirely, just in case. Wait a few more seconds. All right. Okay, turn it on and then press OK to proceed. So, OK. Okay, we're cycling through some stuff on the diag screen again. Okay, we're good to go. So it says installation successful. Please turn ignition key to the off position for at least 15 seconds before starting vehicle. Continue. Continue. All right. So now you get all the gauge functions and all that stuff. But okay, we are going to turn the car off. Take the key out. I'm gonna wait 30 seconds.
Seat back into position here.
All right, good to go. Let's give this a start. All right, looks pretty good. So that's sound on startup is actually normal. I've asked multiple people about it, and they all said it's normal, so I guess it's normal. Cool, well, gonna go for a drive now. Hit traction control there. That's not usually what happens on the stock tune. So definitely some more power. Give it one more shot with more heat in the tires. Definitely a lot more mid-range, right at around 4,000 to 6,000. Pulls much harder. Unfortunately, there's traffic on the on-ramp, so I couldn't rip it. But all right, well, there's way too much traffic. It's only 3:30, but I guess traffic just starts early these days. So I'm gonna head home and call it a day. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.